Good morning, dear students. Welcome to another English language program intended for the students who are getting ready for the GCE ordinary level examination. ආදරණීය දරුවනේ, අපි අදත් ඔබ සමග රැඳී සිටින්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා ඔබට විශේෂයෙන්ම වැදගත් වන පාඩමක් සමගින්. ඔබට අවශ්‍ය කරන ව්‍යාකරණ පාඩමක් තමයි අද අපි ඔබට රැගෙන ඒමට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. So here I have Mr. Ranjit Hemachandra of Highlands College here to help you with this lesson. So good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Can you just tell me what is the lesson that you have selected today?
Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to discuss with you how to use the simple past tense and the past continuous tense. අද මේ දුවල පුතා එක්ක අපි සාකච්ඡා කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වන්නේ මේ past tense, simple past tense කියන tense එකෙන් අපි කොහොමද වගන්ති ගොඩනගන්නේ? ඒ වගේම past continuous කියන tense එකෙන් කොහොමද වගන්ති ගොඩනගන්නේ? මේ දෙක එකට ආවහම අපිට ලස්සන stories හදා ගන්නට පුළුවන් වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම නොයෙක් දේවල් පිළිබඳව ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා දුවේ පුතේ අපි බලමු කොහොමද වගන්ති වල මේක යෙදෙන්නේ කියලා. අපි මේ grammar lesson එක පටන් ගන්නට කලින් අපි පුංචි story එකකින් පටන් ගන්නටයි යන්නේ. Dear students, we are going to relate a story. Actually this is a real incident. It happened long ago. Let us listen to it first. Now you can see the story on the screen. Let us read it. When the lights went out in November 1965, 30 million people in the United States and Canada lost electricity for a complete day. The street lights did not work. Traffic lights did not work. The airports closed. Elevators and trains all stopped. Now let us look at the first part. Mrs. Kaluaj, now we can find some past tense verbs here. Shall we try to find them out first before we move on to the next part?
Yes. Now here United States and Canada lost electricity.
So lost is
a past tense word.
Then the next one,
the street lights did not work.
That is the negative form of the past tense verb.
And there's another one, the traffic lights did not work.
The same
Again,
thing.
Same thing. Then airports closed. Here the closed is the past tense, simple past tense verb. Elevators and trains all stopped.
Yes,
so
elevators
they are stopped.
And trains all stopped.
Yes.
So how can we introduce this word elevator? That is a machine that carries people or goods up and down a building. So an elevator is a machine that would take people or goods up and down in a building. සමහරවිට ගොඩනැගිල්ලක අපි දන්නවා සිංහලෙන් කියන අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේක සිංහලට වැඩි අපි ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂාව තමයි යොදාගන්නේ lift එක කියලා. elevator කියන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය අපි යොදන lift එකට තමයි දන්නවා. So all these machines stopped because of this blackout. මේකට කියන blackout එක. That is the lights went out. There was an electricity failure in New York in 1965 and 30 million people faced a great problem. Now you can see a picture of that, how people were in darkness. Now let us move on to the next part of the story. Mrs. Kaluaj, can you read that?
The blackout happened at 5:30 p.m. when many people were going home. More than 250,000 people were using the New York subway. Many people were inside the trains. They could not open the doors of the trains. The only lights were from the vehicles.
Yeah. So in this part, I think we find even some sentences that belong to past continuous tense.
Yes.
So we will try to find them out first. The blackout happened at 5:30 p.m. So here happened is a simple past tense verb. When many people were going home. So what can we say about that sentence, were going home?
It's a past continuous.
Yes,
A continuous action is there.
Yes. The word, now you can find out the auxiliary verb were and the present participle going, were going home. Then more than 250,000 people were using the New York.
Again,
New
were
York
using.
subway. Again, we find were using. And many people were inside the train. Now, you can see the word were alone. So here we use the word were as a linking verb. It doesn't help any other word. ඒක තවත් වචනයකට උදව් කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඒතකොට ඒක linking verb එකක් වශයෙන් තමයි ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නේ. They could not open the doors. ඒ වගේම මේ could not කියන වචනේත් එක්කලා past tense අපිට යොදා ගන්න පුළුවන්. The only lights were from the vehicles. Right. Now let's move on to the next part. Now you can see the only lights were from the vehicles. අපිට පේනවා lights තියෙන්නේ vehicles වල විතරයි ඒ වෙලාවේ. Everything has stopped. Now let's move on to the next part. So shall we read that part?
The traffic signals were not working. The vehicles could not move. The planes could not land at the New York airport. The trouble began when the hydroelectric generator at Niagara broke down.
Now, dear students, you also can understand what has happened. Let us read it. The traffic signals were not working. Again, past continuous tense. ඒවා වැඩ කරමින් තිබුණේ නැහැ. Were not working. The vehicles could not move. ඒ නිසා vehicles වලට move වෙන්න බැරි වුණා. The planes could not land at the New York airport. එතකොට ගුවන් තොටුපළට මේ ගුවන් යානා ගොඩ බස්සන්න බැරි වුණා. The trouble began when the hydroelectric generator at Niagara broke down. So there was a breakdown in this generator, therefore everything happened because of that. Now let's move on to analyze the words that we found in this story. මේ story එකේ නැත්නම් මේ සිද්ධියේ තිබිච්ච අපි වචන පොඩ්ඩක් බලමු. Now you can see the words that we have found in this passage. What are they, Mrs. Kalwaraj?
All the verbs they are verbs actually.
Yeah.
They are verbs and they are past tense verbs.
So we have went, lost, closed, stopped, happened, were, began, broke. Right. Now let us analyze them in a better way. So how can we introduce these verbs to them?
Yes. Now children, you all know that there are two types of verbs, regular verbs and irregular verbs.
So what do you mean by regular verbs? Regular verbs.
Now can you see a regular pattern when it is transformed into past? Close, closed. Stop, stopped. Happen, happened. Work, worked.
දැන් මේ දුබල පුතාලට පේනවා මේ ed එකතු වුණාම ඒ වගේ වෙන වචන වලට අපි කියනවා regular verbs.
It's regular, the pattern of forming into past tense.
ඒතර irregular verbs කියන්නේ අලුත් වචනයක් ඒකට
They are not regular, they change.
ඒකේ තියෙන වචනේ සමහර කොටස් තියෙනවා. නමුත් අර ed එකතු වෙනවා වගේ ඒ වචනෙම නෙවෙයි. So
Go has become went, lose, lost, begin, began, break, broke.
So now you can see when we are using simple past tense, you will come across these two types of verbs. So මේ වචන ඔබට ලැබෙනවා. අපි බලමු මේවා කොහොමද අපි ඊළඟට යොදාගන්නේ කියලා. Now here you can see a verb, worked. And now we have divided this verb into two parts. What are these two parts, Ms. Kalwar?
Did work.
ඔව් දැන් මේ
That
did
is-
කියන එක මේක ඇතුලේ තියෙනවා. ඒක අපිට පේන්නේ නැහැ. මේක auxiliary verb එකක්. අපි ඒක මේ වචනේ negative form එකට හරව ගන්න වුණාම නැත්නම් question එකට හරව ගන්න වුණාම අපි මේ විදිහට හිතෙන් කොටස් දෙකකට බෙදා ගන්න.
Because this is past tense, we use did.
Yes.
So
Because of the
children,
past.
you have to remember that if it's a past tense and without a helping verb, you have to use did plus the root verb.
Now you can see when you make the negative form of it, you have to say did not work. So the worked, did not work. ඒ විදිහට ඕනම වචනයක් ගත්තොත්. Now stopped. It should be did not stop.
Stop. Then ed is no longer used there because did is there.
And when we use an irregular verb, that is also the same.
Yes.
If we use the word broke, it should be did not
Break.
ඒ විදිහට දරුවනේ. එතකොට අපිට මෙන්න මේ did not work කියන එක ඔබේ මේ paragraph එකේ නැත්තම් මේ story මේ කතාන්තර story එකේ තිබුණා. Now let's move on to some more forms. ඒ වගේම අපිට මෙන්න මේ ටික ලැබුණා. Could not open, could not move, could not land. දැන් මෙතෙන්දී නම් අපිට affirmative form එකේ මේක ලැබෙන්නේ could open හරින්න පුළුවන් වුණා. Could move වෙන්න පුළුවන් වුණා. Could land ගොඩ බස්සන්න පුළුවන් වුණා. හැබැයි not දැම්මාම කෙලින්ම දාන්න පුළුවන් could not open. එතකොට මේ could කියන්නේ auxiliary verb එකක්. auxiliary verb එකක් තියෙනවා නම් negative form එක මේ විදිහට බොහොම ලේසියෙන් දාන්න පුළුවන්. Right. Now can you talk about the other part?
Yes. Now we talked about the simple present. Now children, let us look at how past continuous tense is used. So you can see here on the screen some examples. They have taken from the previous text.
From this text,
Were
from the
going
story.
home, were using the subway, were not working. All
මෙතෙන්දිත් අපිට පේනවා මේ අර auxiliary verb එකක් යොදාගෙන තියෙනවා. එතන මොකද්ද ගුරුතුමිය යොදාගෙන තියෙන මේ auxiliary verb එක?
here were going.
were is an
were is
auxiliary
there.
verb. ඒක going කියන එකට උදව්
That is
කරනවා. were
the-
going, were using, were working.
Yes.
ඒතර past continuous කියන්නේ අතීත කාලයේ කිසියම් වෙලාවක කෙරෙමින් පැවතිච්ච ක්‍රියාවක්. were going home මේ වෙලාවේ ගෙදර යමින් හිටියා. were using the subway. ඒතර subway එක පාවිච්චි කරමින් හිටියා. were not working වැඩ කරමින් හිටියේ නෑ. so negative form එකත් බොහොම ලේසි යොදා ගන්න. right. Now let us see how to build a sentence with the simple past tense verbs. Now here are the pronouns that we use. Now let us see. Now what is important here, Mrs. Kalwan?
The past tense, we have to form their subject and there's a verb.
Verb. And you can see that with any subject we can use the verb. Here, just like in the present tense, we don't have any singular form.
Yes.
අපිට ඒක වචන පදයක් නෑ. අපිට I, he, she, it, they, we, you කියන ඕනම වචනයක් එක්කලා ate යොදන්න පුළුවන්. So we can say I ate, he ate, she ate, they ate, we ate, ඒ විදිහට. If you use the word worked,
I worked, he worked, she worked, it worked, they worked, you worked, we worked.
දැන් ඔබට පේනවා මේ විදිහට simple past tense එකල කිසිම කරදරයක් නැතුව ඔබට ඕනම ක්‍රියාපදයක් මේ විදිහට යොදාගෙන වාක්‍යයක් ගොඩනගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒතර simple past tense යොදනකොට වෙන මොකක්වත් වචනයක් දාන්නේ නැහැ මේකට. මතක තියාගන්න. සමහර වෙලාවට ළමයි මේකට was නැත්නම් were එක්කලා යොදන්න යනවා. එතකොට ඒක වැරදි. කෙලින්ම I worked. සමහර ළමයි සමහරට ලියන්නට පුළුවන් I was ate. ඒ වගේ වචන අපිට හම්බ වෙලා තියෙනවා. මේ ළමයි ලියන ඒවා. එතකොට මේකට කොයි වෙලාවෙකවත් simple past යොදනකොට අපි තවත් වචනයක් යොදන්නේ නැහැ.
කරගන්නේ නැහැ.
මේ වචනේ තමයි යොදන්නේ. ඒක හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න මේ දරුවෝ. Now let us move on to the next one.
This is with the past continuous tense.
Past continuous. Now let us see how to build the sentences with the we can say past continuous tense verbs. Now here is a speciality. මෙතන තියෙන විශේෂත්වය. How can we explain that, Mrs. Tan?
Yes, now here all singular form and The I, the superlative form is there.
Yes, here we can say with all the singular subjects, here we have to use was with the present participle. මේ ing එකත් ing වචනයත් එක්ක අපි was කියන එක තමයි යොදන්නේ. ඒ වගේම with plural form we use were and the ing form. They were working, we were working, you were working. And with the singular form, I was working, he was working, she was working, it was working.
That's singular. For the singular form, we use was, and for the plural, we use were.
දැන් මේ දරුවන්ට මේ දෙකේ වෙනස පේනවා ඇති. දැන් මේ දරුවෝ simple past tense යොදනකොට කොයි වෙලාවෙකවත් අර was were දාන්නේ නැහැ. අපි ඒව නැතුව කෙලින්ම I ate, I worked, I saw ඒ විදිහට යොදන්නේ. හැබැයි past continuous යොදනකොට අපි I was working, I was reading a book ඒ විදිහට යොදන්න ඕනේ. They were helping. එතකොට ing form එකත් එක්කලා තමයි was were යොදන්නේ. නැත්නම් past simple past tense එකේදී අපි කෙලින්ම past tense verb එක යොදනවා. Now again you can see the past tense form, the plural form. Right. Here is a story. We'll have to use a suitable verb form here. පුංචි story එකක් මෙන්න මේ දෙක යොදාගෙන. ඒ කියන්නේ simple past tense එකත් past continuous tense එකත්. Eat heavily. So how can we use a verb there?
With the weather, we can say it was raining heavily.
අපිට දැන් මේ විදිහට දරුවනේ පුංචි ස්ටෝරි එකක් හදන්නට පුළුවන්. ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපි කෙරමින් පැවිදිච්ච දෙයක් කියලා ඊට පස්සේ සෙත් සිද්ධියක් හදන්නට පුළුවන්. So how can we fill in the first blank?
It was raining heavily.
It was raining heavily. ඒ වෙලාවේ හොඳටම වහිමින් තිබුණා. Next one.
The vehicles were moving slowly.
The vehicles were moving slowly. රථ වාහන හිමින් සැරේ ගමන් කරමින් තිබුණා. Then another one. An old man under an umbrella.
He was walking under an umbrella.
An old man was walking under an umbrella. Now let us see what happened.
And suddenly,
he slipped
and fell down.
So we created a very simple story. Punchi story ka punchi siddhiya. Now shall we read that again?
Yes. It was raining heavily. The vehicles were moving slowly. An old man was walking under an umbrella. Suddenly he slipped and fell down.
Yes. So
we have easily constructed a simple story
using simple past tense and past continuous. ඉතින් මේ දරුවන්ට පුළුවන් මේ වගේ පුංචි සිද්ධියක් ගොඩනගා ගන්න. අපි හිතමු it was raining heavily. I was in my room. I was alone. Suddenly someone knocked on the door.
Yes.
So something like that we can make. So dear students, I want you to try something like that. මේ දුවාල පුතාලත් මෙන්න මේ වගේ පුංචි සිද්ධීන් කීපයක් ඉස්සෙල්ලාම ලියන්න continuous tense එකෙන් past continuous tense එකෙන් වගන්ති කීපයක් ඊට පස්සේ simple past tense එකෙන් වෙච්ච සිද්ධියක් ලියන්න.
Now normally they are given something like on my way to school, right? I saw something.
Yes.
Or while I was walking on the road, I happened to see something. Like that you can imagine and write about an incident like that.
There is a question for that.
Yes. Your essay, the last question.
මේක develop කරලා දියුණු කරලා ඔබට ස්ටෝරි එකක් ලියන්නට පුළුවන්. අපිට මූලික ටික තමයි අපි ඔබට පැහැදිලි කරලා දුන්නේ. Right.
So shall we talk about how we can join sentences using...
Now we are going to use the same thing. Simple past tense and past continuous tense in another way. අපි මේ ඒ වගන්ති කීපයක් අපි කොහොමද සම්බන්ධ කරලා බලන්න. Now you can see some sentences on the screen. Shall we read the first two?
Father was reading a newspaper Mother was watching TV.
Both sentences belong to simple, not the simple
No,
past tense.
Past continuous.
Past continuous
Father was reading a newspaper and mother was watching TV.
Father was reading a newspaper, mother was watching TV.
Must be at the same time
Same
they are
time.
doing it. So we can join these two sentences like
Using
this.
the word while.
While.
ළමයිට මේක අලුත් හොඳ පාඩම මොකද්ද? අපි කෙරමින් පැවතිච්ච දෙයක් සම්බන්ධ කරනකොට මේ while කියන වචනේ යොදා ගන්න. දැන් බලන්න මේ දෙක සම්බන්ධ කළා කොහොමද කියවෙන්නේ කියලා.
While father was reading a newspaper, mother was watching TV.
ඔව් තාත්තා පත්තරයක් කියවමින් ඉන්නකොට අම්මා ටීවී එක බලමින් හිටියා. දැන් ඔබට ඒක
එකම වෙලාවකදී වෙන වැඩ දෙකක් ගැන අපි කියනකොට අපිට while කියන වචනය පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්.
Mother was watching TV. ඒතකොට අපිට ඒක තවත් විදිහට කියන්න පුළුවන් මේ while කියන වචනේ වගන්ති දෙක
අතරට දාලා.
So how can we read that?
Father was reading a newspaper while mother was watching TV.
Father was reading a newspaper while mother was watching TV. So, dear students, you also can build up sentences like this. First of all, you make two sentences in the past continuous tense. After that, you try to join them or combine them using the word while.
Yes, now we have showed you two ways. One is while at the beginning and the other one while at the middle, as a conjunction.
Yes.
In the middle.
The middle. Right. Now let us look at another example. But here there is a difference. Let us try to identify it.
I was walking along the road. I found a brown leather purse.
In the first one, you can see the verb is in the past continuous tense. I was walking along the road. මම පාරේ ගමන් කරමින් හිටියා. What happened?
I found a brown leather purse.
I found මට හමු වුණා දුඹුරු පාට leather purse එකක්.
So the first one is the past continuous form. Second one is the simple past.
We also can combine those two using the word while. මේ දෙකත් අපිට while යොදලා සම්බන්ධ කරන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි මෙතෙන්දී අපිට වැදගත් දෙයක් අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලා මේ පළවෙනි වගන්තිය කියවලා ඉමු. Can you please read that?
While I was walking along the road, I found a brown leather purse.
Yes. While I was walking along the road, I found a brown leather purse. මම ගමන් කරමින් සිටීදී මට හමු වුණා මේ leather purse එක. දැන් බලන්න මෙතෙන්දී ඔබටත් මේ වගේ සිද්ධියක් සමහරට වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි අපි දෙවෙනි වාක්‍යයට while දාන්නේ ටිකක් හරිම අපි දාන්නේ නැහැ. අපිට කියන්න බෑ while I found a brown leather purse කියලා අපිට යොදන්නට බෑ. අපිට මේ while කියන එක මැදට දාන්නට ඕන නම් අපි මේ විදිහට කියන්න ඕනේ I found a brown leather purse while I was walking along the road කියලා අර I found a brown leather purse කියන එක මුලට ගන්න පුළුවන්. අරගෙන ඉවර වෙලා අපිට යොදන්නට පුළුවන් I found a brown leather purse while I was walking along the road. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපිට when කියන එක දාන්න පුළුවන් මේ I found a brown leather purse වෙනුවට. Yes, Mrs. Kaluwaraj, can you read?
I was walking along the road when I found a brown leather purse.
මට මේ purse එක හම්බ වෙනකොට මම පාරේ ගමන් කරමින් හිටියේ. I was walking along the road when I found a brown leather purse. දැන් අපි මෙතෙන්දී මේ දරුවන්ට හඳුන්වලා දුන්න වචන දෙකක්. ඒ වචන දෙක තමයි while කියන එකත් when කියන එකත්. So let us see whether you are able to make some more sentences.
Yes, children, now we have selected some more sentences for you. While I was doing my homework, somebody knocked on the door. So while this boy or somebody who is doing his homework, another action had happened. So first one in the continuous form and second one in the simple past.
අපි මේක when කියලා දාලත් අපිට හදන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම වුණොත් කොහොමද මේක? When somebody
knocked on the door,
I was doing my homework. When somebody knock කරනකොට මම homework කරමින් හිටියේ. When somebody knocked on the door, I was doing my homework. ඒ විදිහට අපිට යොදන්නට පුළුවන්. Right. Now here are some more sentences. Shall we read them?
The children were shouting. The principal came to the class.
The children were shouting. Past continuous tense. The principal came to the class. Now you can combine them and make one sentence using the two parts. Yes, how can we
The
say?
first one we have put when in the middle. The children were shouting when the principal came to the class.
The children were shouting when the principal came to the class. විදුහල් පෙත්තුමා පන්තියට එනකොට ළමයි කෑ ගගා හිටියේ. දරුවනේ අපි මේ જાති වගන්ති වලට කියන්නේ මේ when the principal came to the class එකට අපි කියන්නේ adverbial clause of time. මේක adverbial clause එකක්. අර
වෙලාවක් සඳහන්
වෙලාවක්
කරන මොන
සඳහන්.
වෙලාවේද ළමයි කෑ ගහමින් සිටින
When the
වෙලාවේ.
principal came to the class, එනකොට the children were shouting. We
The
can
next-
use the word while as
While.
well.
While the children were shouting, the principal came to the class.
අපිට නැවතත් පේනවා අපි while යොදලා තියෙන්නේ අර ing තියෙන වගන්තියට. While the children were shouting, ළමයි කෑ ගහමින් ඉඳද්දී කියන්නේ. While the children were shouting, the principal came to the class.
We can imagine what had happened after that.
After that.
They might have been punished by the principal.
So you can make more sentences using similar examples.
Right, now see whether you can, before discussing, see whether you can try out with the idea, with the things that we have taught you, see whether you can fill these blanks. You have to choose either simple past or
or
past continuous.
දැන් මේ දරුවන්ට අභ්‍යාසයක් තියෙනවා. ඔබේ විභාගයටත් මේ වගේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් එන්න පුළුවන්. ඔබට simple past tense verb form එක එහෙම නැත්නම් past continuous form එක යොදන්නයි. Do the first one.
What blank you blank, the verb given is do. When I blank, verb is call you last night.
Yes, how can we fill in the first one? Now it's easy because it has two parts, therefore you know that you have to use an auxiliary verb and the other form. So how can we fill in the blank?
Here the verb is do. So then
It's a question.
It's a question. Then what were you doing when
I called you last night. ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහනවා. What were you doing when I called you last night? මම ඊට අපිට call කරනකොට මොනවද කරමින් හිටියේ? What were you doing? And you can see it. What were you doing when I called you last night? දැන් ඔබට පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ විදිහට ස්ටැම්ප් පුරව ගත්තා නම් උන ඔබ නිවැරදිව ලකුණු ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන්. මෙතෙන්දී ඔබට ලකුණු දෙකක් මත කොටස් දෙකක් තියෙන නිසා ලැබෙනවා. සමහර වෙලාවට එක ලකුණක් ලැබෙන්න පුළුවන්. Next one. I in a cafe when you me. Now you can see. Now how can we explain that?
I was sitting in a cafe when you called me.
Right. It is also something similar to that. When you called me, I was sitting in a cafe. මං cafe එකක ඉඳගෙන තමයි හිටියේ. එතකොට ඔබට මේ verbs දෙක පිළිබඳව අවබෝධයක් වෙන පළවෙනි එකට auxiliary verb එක නැත්නම් was එක්කලා ing form එක ඊළඟට අපි was දාන්නේ නැහැ when you called me. මොකද was දැම්මොත් ඔබට ලකුණු ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ දෙවෙනි එකට. Right. Shall we read the third one?
When you blank arrive at the party, who blank be there?
Right.
Now it's a question again.
It's a question again.
Like the first one. See whether you can do it without our help.
Now here we have the be verb. So you'll have to identify what you will have to use. Now what are the forms of be?
Yes. Am, is, are, was, were.
So in the present tense we use is, am, are. And
But
the
we are
past
talking
tense,
about past tense,
past
so
tense,
we
so
have to use either was or were.
Now shall we try to fill in the blanks?
When you arrived at the party, who was there?
When you arrived at the party අපිට දාගන්න පුළුවන් මෙතෙන්දී මේ වචන දෙකම ඕන. මොකද අපි දන්නේ නැහැ මෙතන එක්කෙනෙක් හිටියද ගොඩක් හිටියා අපිට ඕන who was there කියලා දාන්නත් පුළුවන්.
were there
who
also.
were there කියලා දාන්නත් පුළුවන්. මේ ඒ කෝක දැම්මත් ඔබට ඒක නිවැරදි. When you arrived at the party, who were there or who was there? අපි තු තනි එක්කෙනෙක් හිටියා නම්
Who
අපි
was.
අපිට අහන්න පුළුවන්.
කවුද හිටියේ? එතන කවුද හිටියේ?
කියන එක
තනි පුද්ගලයෙක්
අහන
විදිහට.
ප්‍රශ්න අනුව තමයි
අනුව
උත්තරය අපි ලැබෙන්නේ. Right.
So next one, without giving you the words, we'll see whether you can fill them, or we will give them some time, sir, to
Yes.
concentrate on this. Fourth one, Maheshi blank watch a film when she blank hear the noise.
Yes,
The next-
Maheshi blank, the verb is watch.
The next one, yesterday I blank go to the library. Next I blank have a swim. Later I blank meet a friend for coffee.
Then we blank within brackets play tennis when Arun blank hurt his ankle.
Right.
Now-
So you will have to remember we have to use either past continuous or
Simple.
simple past tense.
Or shall we
Let us see whether
first one? Whether they have been
you
able
got
to
the
do it.
answers. Maheshi was watching a film when she heard
The
the
noise. Maheshi was watching a film when she heard the noise. එයාට ශබ්දය ඇහෙනකොට Maheshi film එකක් නරඹමින් තමයි හිටියේ. Maheshi was watching a film when she heard the noise.
Yes.
So
So
අපිට
here
ඕන
you-
එක while දාලා හැදුවොත් while Maheshi was watching a film she heard the noise කියලා හදන්න පුළුවන්.
දෙකම බලන්න ලේසියෙන් ඒ විදිහටම කරගන්න පුළුවන් එක.
Oh.
Right.
Now let's move on to the next one.
Yesterday I went to the library. Next I had a
The
swim.
swim.
Later I met a friend for coffee.
Yes, all the three words, they belong to simple past tense.
What he had done there.
Yes. Yesterday I went to the library. Next I had a swim. Later I met a friend for coffee. All right? So you must be able to
All
use the
in the simple past
tense.
form.
Go, went, have, had, meet, met. Then the next one.
We were playing tennis when Arun hurt his ankle.
So another important thing, we were playing tennis when Arun hurt his ankle. Now you can see the past tense form of hurt
Is the
the
same.
same. So you must know that, because when you go through what is called irregular verbs, you can identify the past tense forms. Normally you find a list of irregular verbs in most of the grammar books and try to find out those past tense forms.
So here also we can use while, can't we?
Yes. How can you use it? While we were playing tennis, Arun hurt his
Ankle.
ankle. Right. Now, dear students, shall we go back to the story that we read again? Ms. Kaluarajji, shall we read it again?
Yes. When the lights went out. In November 1965, 30 million people in the United States and Canada lost electricity for a complete day. The street lights did not work. Traffic lights did not work. The airports closed. Elevators and trains all stopped.
So in November 1965, 1965 November මාසේ 30 million people in the United States and Canada, two countries, because the Niagara Falls can be found between the two countries. Therefore, the both countries lost electricity for a complete day.
So you can imagine what could happen for
Yes.
a whole day,
Oh.
such a big city, a very busy cities in those countries.
The
without-
street lights did not work. පාරේ lights වැඩ කළේ නැහැ. Then traffic lights did not work. The airports closed. Elevators and trains all stopped. So you can see, you can imagine the difficulties that people faced on that day. Shall we read the next one?
The blackout happened at 5:30 p.m. when many people were going home. More than 250,000 people were using the New York subway. Many people were inside the trains. They could not open the doors of the trains. The only lights were from the vehicles.
Right. Now, the students, you can again identify the simple past tense verbs as well as past continuous tense verbs. the blackout happened at 5:30 p.m. So make a 5:30 වලට තමයි උනේ. You can see when many people were going home. Now you can see the way
the two ideas
two
were
sentences
combined.
have been combined. So here, when many people were going home, we
The
can
blackout
use even
happened
the
at
word
5:30.
while many people were going home, මේ මිනිස්සු යමින් ඉඳද්දී the blackout happened. අර වගේ සම්බන්ධ වෙලා තියෙනවා. More than 250,000 people were using the New York subway. So you can understand the use of past continuous form were using. Next one.
Many people were inside the trains.
Now here the word or the verb were has been used. Then බලන්න මේ දෙක many people inside the trains. මේගොල්ලෝ දෙන්ව සම්බන්ධ කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ හිටියේ දුම්රිය ඇතුලේ. Many people were inside the trains. So here the be verb or the word were has been used as a linking verb. Next one.
They could not open the doors of the trains.
They could not open the doors. දැන් මෙතන මේ could කියන එක could යොදලා අපිට past tense. ඒගොල්ලන්ට බැරි වුණා. Could not open the doors of the train. The next one.
The only lights were from the vehicles.
The only lights were from the vehicles. So lights තිබුණේ vehicles වල විතරයි. So you can see it in the picture.
So again the were is here.
Were is here.
The only lights were from the vehicles there.
Now the last part. Yes.
The traffic signals were not working.
The traffic signals were not working. Again, past continuous.
Past continuous with the negative form
Negative
there.
form.
Were not working.
Next one.
The vehicles could not move.
The vehicles could not move. බලන්න could form එක. දැන් අපිට පුළුවන් වුණා නම් I could do it. Negative I could not do it. So easily you can turn it into negative form. The vehicles could not move. Next one.
The planes could not land at the New York airport.
The planes could not land. එතකොට ගුවන් යානාවලට ගොඩ බහින්නට බැරි වුණා. Could not land at the New York airport. Next one.
The trouble began when the hydroelectric generator at Niagara broke down.
දැන් ඔබට පේනවා අර අපි සම්බන්ධ කළ විදිහට when කියන වචනේ උදලා සම්බන්ධ වෙලා තියෙනවා. The trouble began මේ කරදරය පටන් ගත්තේ when the hydroelectric generator ඒ කියන්නේ ජල විදුලි ජනකය at Niagara වල තියෙන broke down. ඒක ක්‍රියාවිරහිත වුණා broke down. The trouble began when the hydroelectric generator at Niagara broke down. So I think you understand the story.
Yes.
Now we can discuss something about it.
We'll pretend that we were the victims of
Yes.
this incident, sir.
Suppose Mrs. Kaluarajji had been in Canada at that time. So I would like to ask her some questions, and she will give some answers about it. Mrs. Kaluarajji, where were you at that time?
I was in United States in a train.
In a train, right?
Yes.
Were you in New York at that time?
Yes, I was in a very busy street,
Yeah.
New York.
Where were you going at that time?
I was going to my workplace.
I was going to my workplace.
I'm sorry, I was coming home from my
Because,
workplace because this happened at, I had to pretend, right?
Yes.
It happened at 5:30 p.m.
Yes. Because it happened long ago. You may have forgotten it.
In 1965.
Yes. Where were you going?
I was going home after work.
Right. What time was it?
It was at 5:30 p.m. in the evening.
Yes. With whom were you going?
I was going alone.
Yes, you were going alone. And I was going alone, but if I say you can't say you was going alone. You have to say you were going alone.
He asked the questions,
Yes.
were you
going alone?
But
or
I answered like I was going alone.
What happened suddenly?
It was suddenly everything became dark. It was a blackout.
It was a blackout. What did the people do?
People started shouting.
People started shouting. So I think, now I would like to ask the same questions again. Where were you?
I was in New York City.
Where were you going?
I was going home in a train.
What time was it?
It was at 5:30 p.m.
With whom were you going?
I was alone.
What happened suddenly?
There was a complete blackout.
What did the people do?
People started shouting.
Yeah. Even students, you can imagine how the people started shouting at that time. So,
Yes, children, I think we have created that situation in your mind also, what might have happened. Actually, now we have been talking about how simple past tense and past continuous could be used in sentences.
How to
And
construct
how to
sentences with
construct
them.
sentences using simple past tense and past continuous. And again, we have given you helping words when and while to join these ideas. So
and
children,
how to construct a story.
Yes, how to construct a
Very
story.
simple story.
Yes. So children, I hope you have learnt another very important aspect today. I hope we have helped you how to construct simple sentences and with a very important grammar lesson. So I hope to meet you once again with another important lesson. Hope to see you next week as well. Good day, children.